If you're a goalkeeper or goalkeeper coach that has no idea how to warm up on a match day, this is the video you want to see, as this is the warm up I use with academy players and a semi-pro team. So, like with any good warm-up, you start off with just a light little jog. I like to use the goal mouth and surrounding areas in the box just to see if there's any divots or if anything might go awry during the game. After this, we just move on to some dynamic stretches, nothing too crazy, just to make sure we're nice and limber for the game ahead. After we finished with our light little jog and then our dynamic stretches, we go into some static stretches. Again, it's really important to make sure we're feeling loose, feeling flexible for the game, especially if we want to make like a low diving save or a low foot save. This is what we're seeing here, just getting some movements going and just making sure we're properly ready for the game ahead. After we finish with our light jogs and our stretching routines and we're ready to go, we start off with some just light passing. The majority of modern goalkeeping is with the ball at our feet, so again, making sure that we've got our light passing, our short passing, our mid passing and our long passing on point is going to be so key for the game ahead. Again, the goalkeeper will just start nice and close to each other and then they'll slowly move further and further away, just so we get that repetition of the short, then the medium, then the long passing. So after we've warmed up our feet, what we're going to do is move into warming up our hands. We're going to just take some light volleys into the chest. This is such a used method of warming up our hands, but for a good reason. Not all drills have to be super fancy, and if it's not broken, don't fix it. After we're happy with the repetitions that we've made, we're then going to move into the next little variation, which is just a simple little step in. Again, we just want to make sure the connection between our hands and our lower body are all working in sync, and this is just a very simple and effective way to do this. Once we're happy with those reps, we're just going to move into half volleys. This is just to keep our goalkeepers thinking. We don't want them to just be on autopilot at this point. They still need to be thinking about what's going on around them, and this is just a good way to keep them on their toes. Once we've done this, we're just going to move into some harder volleys. This is just so they get a little bit more use to some more pace on the ball, and so what they're also going to face in match. And then finally, for warming up the hands, we're then just going to take a couple of clips off the floor just to add some more variation into how the ball might be struck and come towards our goalkeepers, replicating what they'll face in game. Obviously, we are goalkeepers, so diving is a part of our game, so we're going to make sure we go through some dive activation. We're going to start on our side and just make sure we go into a little bit of a collapse save. After this, we're going to go to our knees and do the same, just moving either side, making sure we get our left and our right side, and finally finishing off from our feet. We go into a low dive, make sure we're attacking the ball positively, moving forward for our dives and making sure we're getting the best angle possible. Once we're done with the low dives, we're then just going to do the exact same thing, but for a mid dive, just so they feel comfortable that if they have to do one in game, they've already warmed it up, they're used to the feeling. Next up is something I don't really see many goalkeepers implement for their matchday warm-ups, and that's foot saves. A lot of saves now for goalkeepers are made with our feet, so I think it's crucial to warm that part of the body up as well. Some goalkeepers like to get all their passing drills out the way in either the beginning or the end, but I like to intersperse it throughout the entire matchday warm-up. That way, we're never really forgetting about it. We're not getting cold with them. So next, we're going to go into just a simple, the goalkeeper will receive a pass, and then they'll make a pass out to what we will call our fullback. We do this both sides, and then also what I like to implement is to make sure that the goalkeepers have their weak foot warmed up. You never know when you might have to use this in game, and again, you don't want to be doing it for the first time in a high pressure situation. So again, the ball just comes in and I force them to use their weak foot just to clip it to, again, what we call the fullback position. This is a little bit into our warm-up now, so a lot of the goalkeepers, they're feeling the rhythm, they're getting used to what it's going to feel like on this match day. So now we go into something a little bit more complex, into a little angle strike drill. They start on the post, they come in, they set for their angle, they set nice and positively, and then they make the save. We'll then move on to two vital techniques that they'll most likely use in the game ahead, and that's just a low smother and then also a high claim. For the high claims, you can either do it one of two ways. If you're not too confident or you have a younger goalkeeper and you don't want to sling in crosses with your feet, you can always throw them in nice and high for them. Or if you're a little bit more confident and they're a little bit more advanced, you can obviously take a normal cross in. As we're now coming to the end of our goalkeeper warm-up, we're going to move into the final bit of distribution. This is where they're going to just make sure they're 100% comfortable with all the different techniques that they're going to use in the game. We're going to go through their goal kicks to make sure they've got their range finding and their distance on point, then their sidewinds, then some throws, and then some also bulleted throws as well. This is the kind of time now where you normally get the main coach or some outfield players wanting to take some shots against the keepers just so they can get themselves warmed up as well. The most important thing I'll say about this is it's not about the goalkeepers at this moment in time. It's about the strikers, making sure they feel happy with what they're going to do. This means if you let some goals in, do not worry about it. It's all part of the process. A lot of the time we also get a reserve keeper to do this, just so again, it doesn't knock any other confidence for our main starting GK. Let me know how much of this goalkeeper warm-up you already implement and if you're willing to give this one a go, and if so, let me know how it goes down below.